If you conducted a poll of thousands of people and you asked all of them what the most important thing is to having a sustainable long term relationship, an overwhelming majority of the people would answer trust. Other important factors can be worked on. Communication, for example. As time goes on, you and your partner get to know each other a little bit better. You start to learn how to communicate better. Can't figure it out, you can always go to a relationship counselor for help. Being attentive, being selfless, those are other important things that can improve with effort. Me personally, I am extremely selfish with my time. I value my time. I'm very self-absorbed. I don't have children, so my entire life, all I've had to think about was myself. The longer my girlfriend and I are together, the more I realize how important it is to be willing to sacrifice some of my time. The aspect of trust is completely different. It takes a long time to really be able to trust someone 100%. And I'm not just talking about being faithful. I'm also talking about reliability, being able to trust someone to do what they say they're going to do. Little things like calling the plumber, fixing the refrigerator, whatever the fuck. It takes time to build that level of trust, but it can be broken in a matter of seconds. In many cases, once trust is lost, the relationship is irreparably broken. You can't repair it. Oftentimes, when someone is unfaithful, the cheating is only the symptom to the larger problem. It's like that old saying, death by 1,000 cuts. Small things build up over time, a tiny slice here, another slice, until eventually you find out your relationship is on life support. By the time you realize there's a problem, it's too late to come up with a solution. For many years now, the relationship between the American public and the mainstream media has been teetering on the brink of disaster. It's on life support. When the founders of this country included freedom of the press in the Constitution, the thinking was that the media would keep the government in check. The entire government, the entire system was set up on checks and balances. Although the media isn't technically part of the government, it was designed to keep the government in check, keep them honest, keep the public informed about what's going on. The mainstream media was designed to be unbiased. They're supposed to report hard news, let the viewers, let the readers draw their own conclusions. I remember years ago, the slogan for Fox News was, "We report, you decide." They dropped that slogan 5, maybe 6 years ago because that's no longer what the network's about. Everyone knows Fox News leans to the right, MSNBC leans to the far left, CNN drowning at the bottom of the woke sea. About a week ago, Gallup released their newest poll, detailing trust in the American media. The results weren't all that surprising. Our trust in the mainstream media has reached all-time record lows. Take a look at this graph. Gallup started measuring trust in print media back in the early 70s. They started measuring trust in television media in the early 90s. There was a time that half the country trusted the mainstream media, which is a pretty good number. That's a pretty good number. Anytime you can get 50% of the population to agree on anything, that's an accomplishment. But look where we are today. 11% trust TV media. 16% trust print media, newspapers. Over the years, average trust in media hovered around 30%. Today, 46% of the population claims to have zero trust in newspapers, print media. Highest number on record. 53% have zero trust in television media. Why? How did we get here? Just like what happens in personal relationships, we got here from death by 1,000 cuts. The consistent lies, the consistent propaganda. The fact that people know which media outlets represent which political party. I mean, think about it. Can you think of one mainstream media outlet that doesn't have a political leaning? Can you think of one media outlet that reports hard news without inserting their personal opinion? Let me show you some examples of what constitutes as mainstream news coverage in 2022. Remember last week when AOC and the Towel of Terror, Ilhan Omar, faked getting arrested by Capitol Police? In case you've forgotten, let me refresh your memory. There are are no handcuffs on her wrist. The only time AOC has ever been handcuffed is when she went through the butt bongo initiation to graduate from Woke U. Ilhan Omar, she was allowed to skip the initiation. She claimed it was for religious reasons, but the truth is, she couldn't find anyone willing to initiate her. When this story broke, there were plenty of legitimate pictures circulating the internet showing people what actually happened. Guess how ABC News decided to cover this story? They tweeted these deceiving pictures with the caption, "AOC in the towel of terror arrested in abortion rights protest." The deception was so blatantly obvious, they were even called out by the virgins on woke Twitter. We used to have journalists like Carl Bernstein, who broke the Watergate scandal, Tom Brokaw, Peter Jennings, Barbara Walters. Now, did everyone trust them? No, but at least they maintained a level of respect and dignity. Now, mainstream media outlets like the Washington Post call Taylor Lorenz a journalist. Taylor fucking Lorenz, someone who is one acorn short of being a woke oak tree. Let me show you the journalistic integrity of this shitfuck. Roll the film.
I've had to remove every single social tie. I had severe PTSD from this. I contemplated suicide. It got really bad. You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating.
And terrifying.
It's horrifying.
Oh, I can't take the abuse. People online constantly make fun of my ugly cry face. They bully me, damn it. One guy made sexual advances towards me on Twitter. I told him I only like cucumbers. About a week after she forced America to endure her hideous cry face, Taylor Lorenz posted the home address to the woman behind the Libs of TikTok Twitter account. Not only was this unethical, it was fucking dangerous. Members of Woke United Methodist, they have nothing but time to harass people they label enemies. It's not like they have jobs. They will constipate themselves for an entire week, waiting for a new enemy to surface so they can defecate in their front yard. Were there any repercussions or punishment for Taylor Lorenz doing this? No. Remember back in March when NBC News and the Today Show tried to make Lia Thomas look more feminine? Remember that? This picture right here, this is the real picture. It was taken as Leah Thomas was releasing the throttle on his propeller. As you can see, he's exhausted. You can see the moisture from the propeller on his face, the lines from his goggles, the booger in his nose. Now compare the real picture to this picture NBC News created. I hate to break the news to their Photoshop birthing person, but Leah Thomas still looks like a fucking man. No amount of digital magic, no amount of Gillette razors can make Leah Thomas look like a woman. Last week, a member of Woke United Methodist tried to stab Representative Lee Zeldin in the neck at a campaign event. Now, mind you, this was caught on video. I would play it for you, but YouTube will demonetize my video if I play it. But the dude was caught on camera trying to stab him. How did the New York Times report the story? One of our parishioners thought Lee Zeldin was eating a steak and didn't have a knife, so he politely offered Lee Zeldin his knife. They called it a confrontation. A confrontation? He was trying to kill the fucking guy. The New York Times doubled down on the bullshit by floating an absolutely ridiculous conspiracy that Lee Zeldin pushed for his attacker to be released without bail to boost his anti-crime campaign. What? What? Let me get this straight. A man tries to kill Lee Zeldin, and he goes behind the scenes to get his attacker released without bail to help his political campaign? Does that make any fucking sense to you? If someone attacked you, threatened your life, are you pushing the courts to have him remain in jail or back on the streets? Did anyone call out the New York Times on their blatant propaganda? Besides the New York Post, not one other mainstream media outlet called out the New York Times. And this speaks to a larger problem in the mainstream media. Also, one of the reasons no one trusts them. There is zero accountability. They all have each other's backs. Journalist media outlets, they used to be in competition with each other. Today, they're all colluding with each other. They're not in competition for readers and viewers. They're in competition with you. They're competing for your mind. They use propaganda trying to bring you over to the dark side. The average American has more trust in YouTubers like me than they do in the mainstream media. One of the reasons that this channel is growing, authenticity. People are starved for authenticity because we don't get any of it from politicians, and we damn sure don't get it from the media. You can't trust anything these people say. I'm not always right. There are times when I get facts wrong, or maybe I misunderstand them and someone corrects me in the comments section. Or I present a story and I leave out an important piece of the story unintentionally. It's going to happen, but when it happens, I get called out for it, which is fine. I don't mind it. That's how it's supposed to be. You guys hold me accountable. But not one time have I come on this channel and tried to deceive you on purpose. Not one time have I lied to you. Once trust is broken, it is damn near impossible to get it back. Will the American public, will we ever trust the mainstream media again? No, which is great for me because I'll never run out of content. But let me know what you think. Trust in the mainstream media, all-time record lows. Will the media ever regain your trust? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. See you guys later.